Hey there, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of Clear English Daily, where we make learning English simple and enjoyable. I'm Sarah, and wow, I am so glad you're here with us today.
And I'm Mike. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world right now. Sarah, I have to tell you something. My hands are a little bit sweaty right now.
Your hands are sweaty? Mike, we're just recording a video. What's going on?
I know, but we're talking about work anxiety today, and just thinking about it makes me nervous. Last week, my boss called me into her office, and my heart started racing before she even said anything.
Oh, Mike. See, everyone, this is real life. Even Mike, who teaches English, gets nervous at work, and you know what? That's totally normal.
It is?
Absolutely. And that's exactly why today's topic is so important. We're diving into English for anxiety at work, what to say, and how to stay calm under pressure.
This is going to help so many people. Work anxiety is real. Your boss gives you a deadline, your colleague criticizes your idea, you have to give a presentation, boom, anxiety.
Exactly. And when you're anxious and trying to speak English, it's like double pressure. Your brain is already panicking, and then you have to find the right words in a second language.
Yes, sometimes I know what I want to say in my language, but in English, my mind just goes blank.
That's what we're fixing today. So everyone watching, here's what we're covering. In this episode, first, we'll teach you the exact English phrases to use when you're feeling overwhelmed at work. Second, we'll show you calming techniques you can do while speaking English. And third, we'll practice real workplace scenarios where anxiety usually hits hard.
And I'm going to be honest with all of you. I might get nervous during this episode because we're talking about my actual fears.
And that's perfect because we're going to show you that it's okay to be nervous. You can be nervous and still communicate well. Before we jump in, if Clear English Daily has helped you even once, please hit that like button. It truly supports our channel.
And subscribe. We post new videos every single week. When you subscribe, you become part of our learning family. We grow together.
All right, Mike, let me start with a question. What's the most stressful situation for you at work?
Honestly, when my boss asks me a question in a meeting and everyone is looking at me, waiting for my answer, my throat gets tight, my mind goes blank, and I just want to disappear.
That's such a common feeling. Your throat gets tight, that's physical anxiety. Let's talk about how to handle that exact moment. The first thing you need to know is it's okay to buy yourself time.
Buy myself time? What does that mean?
It means you don't have to answer immediately. You can use specific English phrases to give your brain a few seconds to calm down and think. The first phrase is, "That's a good question. Let me think for a moment."
That's a good question. Let me think for a moment. Oh, so I'm not just sitting there in silence, I'm saying something that sounds professional.
Exactly. You're acknowledging the question and asking for time to think. Nobody will think you're stupid. They'll think you're being thoughtful. Here's another one. Let me make sure I understand correctly.
Let me make sure I understand correctly. And then what?
Then you repeat the question back in your own words. This does two things. First, it gives you time to calm down. Second, it makes sure you understood the question correctly.
Oh, that's brilliant. So I say, let me make sure I understand correctly. You're asking about the sales numbers for last quarter?
Perfect. And while you're saying that, your brain has time to prepare your actual answer. Another phrase. Can I have a moment to gather my thoughts?
Can I have a moment to gather my thoughts? That sounds very professional.
It does. And here's the beautiful part. Native English speakers use these phrases too. Even they need time to think. Now, let's talk about what happens when you make a mistake while speaking and your anxiety spikes.
Oh no, this happens to me all the time. I say the wrong word and then I panic and then I make more mistakes.
I know, it's a spiral. You make one small error, your anxiety goes up, and suddenly you can't speak at all. So here's what you do. You use what I call recovery phrases. The first one is, "Sorry, let me rephrase that."
Sorry, let me rephrase that. So I'm not making a big deal out of the mistake.
Exactly. You're just calmly correcting yourself. Another one, what I meant to say is,
What I meant to say is, and then I say it correctly.
yes, quick and simple. You're not apologizing 10 times, you're not explaining, you just correct and move on. Here's another. Let me clarify.
Let me clarify. Short and confident.
Yes. Now, Mike, what happens when someone gives you criticism at work? How do you feel?
Oh, terrible. My face gets hot, my heart pounds. Even if the criticism is helpful, I feel attacked.
This is very normal, especially if you're sensitive like many of us are. So you need phrases that buy you emotional time. When someone criticizes your work, you can say, I appreciate your feedback. Let me think about that.
I appreciate your feedback. Let me think about that. Even if inside I'm panicking?
Even if inside you're panicking, this phrase keeps you professional on the outside while you process your feelings on the inside. Another phrase, that's helpful to know. Can you give me an example?
That's helpful to know. Can you give me an example? Oh, this is smart. I'm asking them to explain more, which gives me time to calm down.
Exactly. And it makes them think harder about their criticism. Sometimes people criticize without thinking. When you ask for examples, they have to be specific. Here's another response. Thank you for pointing that out. I'll work on it.
Thank you for pointing that out. I'll work on it. Simple and professional.
Very professional. And you're not getting defensive. You're accepting the feedback calmly. Now, let's talk about breathing. This is so important, Mike.
Breathing? Like taking deep breaths?
Yes, but we're going to connect it to English speaking. When you feel anxiety rising at work, you need to slow down your breathing. And here's a phrase you can use while you breathe. Let me take a breath and think about this.
Wait, I can actually say that out loud?
Yes, you can literally say, let me take a breath and think about this. Then you take a deep breath. Nobody will judge you. They'll see you as someone who thinks carefully.
Wow, just doing that now made me feel calmer.
See? No, imagine you're in a stressful meeting. Your boss asks you something difficult. You say, let me take a breath and think about this. You breathe in slowly through your nose, out through your mouth, and then you answer. Your voice will be calmer, your thoughts will be clearer.
This is like a secret weapon.
It is. Now let's talk about the phrase, I need a moment to process this.
I need a moment to process this. When would I use that?
When someone gives you a lot of information at once and you're feeling overwhelmed, maybe your boss gives you 5 new tasks in 2 minutes, you can say, I need a moment to process this. Can I send you my questions in an email?
Oh, so I'm not saying I'm freaking out. I'm saying I need time to process.
Exactly. It sounds thoughtful and professional. Another phrase for overwhelming moments, can we break this down step by step?
Can we break this down step by step? So instead of looking at the huge, scary thing, we make it smaller.
Yes. When you're anxious, everything feels too big. Breaking it into steps makes it manageable. And asking to break it down doesn't make you look weak. It makes you look organized.
I love this. What else?
Let's talk about presentations, because I know that's where anxiety hits hardest for many people. Mike, do you get nervous giving presentations?
Are you kidding? I get nervous just thinking about presentations. My voice shakes, I forget my words, I speak too fast.
All very normal. So here's what you do. First, you acknowledge your nervousness, but only to yourself, not out loud. But you can use calming phrases during your presentation. For example, if you lose your place, you can say, let me pause here for a moment.
Let me pause here for a moment. And then I just pause?
Yes, you take a breath, you look at your notes, you collect yourself. The audience will wait. They're not judging you. Another phrase, this is an important point, so let me slow down.
This is an important point, so let me slow down. Oh, so if I'm speaking too fast because I'm nervous, I can actually say that and it gives me permission to slow down?
Exactly. You're turning your anxiety into professionalism. When you slow down and say, "This is important," people pay more attention. They don't know you're nervous. They think you're being intentional.
That's genius.
Here's another presentation phrase. Let me make sure I'm being clear here.
Let me make sure I'm being clear here, and then I can restate my point.
Yes, it gives you a moment to breathe and reorganize your thoughts. Now, what happens if someone asks you a question during your presentation and you don't know the answer?
Oh no, this is my nightmare.
It's okay. You say, "That's a great question. I don't have that information right now, but I'll find out and get back to you."
I don't have that information right now, but I'll find out and get back to you. So I'm not saying I don't know and panicking.
Exactly. You're being honest and professional. Another option, "That's outside the scope of today's presentation, but I'm happy to discuss it afterward."
Ugh, these phrases are like shields. They protect me from anxiety.
They are. Now, let's talk about email anxiety, because that's another big one. Do you ever spend 30 minutes writing a two-sentence email?
Yes, I write it, delete it, rewrite it, check the grammar 10 times, and then I'm too scared to send it.
Totally common. Email anxiety is real. Here's what you need to know. Simple is better. When you're anxious, you tend to over-explain, but in professional English, short and clear is best.
So I shouldn't write 5 paragraphs explaining why I need help.
No, just write, "I need some clarification on the project timeline. Could we schedule a quick call?"
That's so short.
And that's perfect. When you're anxious, you think you need to justify everything, but you don't. Here's another email phrase for when you're worried about bothering someone. "I hope this email finds you well. I have a quick question about..."
I hope this email finds you well. That sounds polite.
It is polite, but not overly apologetic. Now, if you made a mistake and need to send a correction email, don't panic. Just say, "I wanted to follow up on my previous email with a correction."
I wanted to follow up on my previous email with a correction. Not, I'm so sorry, I'm so stupid, I made a terrible mistake.
No, just a simple correction. Professionals make mistakes all the time. They just correct them calmly. Now, let me teach you some phrases for when you need to set boundaries, because anxiety often comes from taking on too much.
Oh yes, I always say yes to everything, and then I'm overwhelmed.
So you need to learn to say no professionally. Here's how. "I'd love to help, but I'm at capacity right now."
I'd love to help, but I'm at capacity right now. What does at capacity mean?
It means you're at your limit. You can't take on more work. It's professional and clear. Another phrase, "I need to prioritize my current projects. Can we revisit this next week?"
I need to prioritize my current projects. Can we revisit this next week? So I'm not saying no forever, just not right now.
Exactly. You're setting a boundary without being rude. Here's another. "I want to give this the attention it deserves, and I can't do that right now."
I want to give this the attention it deserves, and I can't do that right now. That sounds so professional.
It does. You're not saying, "I'm too busy" or "I don't want to." You're saying you care about quality. Now, Mike, let's practice. I'm going to be your demanding boss, and you're going to use these phrases. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready. My heart is actually beating faster.
Okay, in boss voice. "Mike, I need you to finish the Johnson report by tomorrow morning. Also, can you handle the Martinez account? And we need to prepare for next week's board meeting."
Okay, let me make sure I understand correctly. You need the Johnson report by tomorrow, and you want me to take on Martinez and prepare for the board meeting.
Yes, that's correct.
I appreciate you trusting me with these projects. I want to give each of them the attention they deserve. The Johnson report I can complete by tomorrow, For the Martinez account and board meeting prep, I'm at capacity this week. Can we discuss timeline and possibly redistribute some tasks?
Mike, that was perfect. Do you see what you did?
I used the phrases. I stayed calm. I didn't say yes to everything.
You acknowledged the request, you set a boundary, and you offered a solution. That's professional communication under pressure.
I actually feel less anxious now. Just knowing I have these phrases makes me feel more confident.
That's the power of preparation. When you know what to say, anxiety decreases. Now, everyone watching, here's your homework. Write down 3 phrases from today's episode that you need most.
Yes, put them somewhere you can see them, on your desk, on your computer, in your phone.
Practice saying them out loud. Practice them in the mirror. Practice them in the shower. When the real stressful moment comes, these phrases will be ready in your brain.
And remember, anxiety at work is normal. You're not weak for feeling it.
You're human, and these English phrases are tools to help you manage that anxiety while staying professional. Now, we want to hear from you. In the comments, tell us what work situation makes you most anxious.
Yes, share your experiences. Maybe we can make a part 2 of this episode with even more scenarios.
And if this episode helped you, please click that like button and subscribe to Clear English Daily. Share it with a coworker who might need these phrases.
Next week, we're talking about English for dealing with difficult colleagues. How to stay professional when someone is driving you crazy.
That's going to be a good one. Okay, everyone, take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourself when anxiety shows up.
You're stronger than you think. You can handle this.
See you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Warm smile.